Fireworks are happening this week. Will it go up or down? Let us look into this. The business has some major problems, but no one wants to investigate what's going on. That's exactly what today's video will do. The markets could drop at any moment now, okay? It's like a house of cards that's about to fall apart. We're going to discuss the case I made about how I think this is the week when the markets could finally be pushed to make a move instead of just holding forever. First things first, a lot of changes are happening in the business, and they're being reported on the newswire. Before the end of 2026, there will likely be a recession in the United States, and losses in the US will likely be even higher than during the Great Recession. Polymarket is expecting a little more than a 1 in 3 chance here. Okay, and people are placing bets, so that's pretty big, right? Right, more than 30%, but in the next few months, it's going to get even bigger, guys. But yeah, it's going to happen. Losses in the US will soon be higher than during the Great Financial Crisis. It's larger than the one that was really the crisis of a decade. When this thing finally collapses, this is almost never how low shopper sentiment has been in the history of the US economy. Why? We received the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. These situations are the worst. Starting in the 1930s, we mean the Great Depression. We're comparing today to the Great Depression. That's how bad it is at Scott's, right? And everyone thinks it's okay. Isn't that so? There will be no crash. There will be for sure. It could start any moment now. That is a question. No one knows for sure. Okay, and that's what people want to know. Look at where we are now compared to the worst of the worst. The 1980s double dip recession, the financial crisis of 2008, and so on. In the group of 3, between the other 2 guys, yes. So, the mood of the people isn't too good, right? Now, this is how we know things are getting really bad. The US Labor Department's PPI inflation report for October has been delayed. It's important to remember that the inflation won't go away just because the report does, right? It doesn't matter what kind of influence they use on guys, they always get what they want. It's happening, isn't it? It's not on anyone's mind. They could change the facts or the timing of the announcement, could they? But either way, I think something will be sparked that will make something fall. Trump has canceled the numbers on jobs, GDP, and inflation for those who are keeping track. Everything's okay, right? So if they are canceling reports or messing with the numbers, am I right? Putting off reports and all of this, ask yourself if it's really okay. Not correct. No, and that's why I'll be telling why I think the markets are about to drop right here. Guys, nothing seems okay, but there is some separation that has happened. Why is the business doing so poorly? As soon as we look at the numbers and the measures, but the stock market is doing very well, right? At levels so high they have never been seen before. What the heck is this? These stocks and markets. For example, what? We're at new record levels, if not at all-time highs. Things are coming apart. It looks like the stocks don't care one bit. They think that no matter what happens with the business, we will just keep going up and up, but the music will stop at some point. It's just a question of when. The thing we want to know is if you can make a prediction. The Federal Reserve is adding money to the banking system. Make sure you have things that will make you money. Why? Because banks are having some sort of cash problem. Japan's rates are already going through the roof. Actually, all over the world, from the US to Japan to the EU, everyone has their own bond rates. What's going on with them? So this is clearly a warning, which is why let's move on to the Federal Reserve meeting this Wednesday and what will happen, because it will decide what will happen with the markets this week and in the coming weeks. The Bank of Japan will make a choice on December 19th about whether to lower, raise, or keep interest rates the same. The 10th and 19th of December are very important. 50 basis rate cuts are on the way, according to Grant Cardone. Told you so. This person is saying that there will be a 50 basis point rate cut. If this happens, it would be a true white swan event because not a lot of people are expecting it. If I were in charge of the Fed, I would cut at least 100 points, probably 1,000. Reason being is because they're late. Anything that's going on is fine, right? It's just that something is about to break when you look at the market. But isn't that what the Federal Reserve has always done? They're always in the way of things. And when it finally does collapse, they have an emergency and right away lower the rates. 11 out of 12 members of the FOMC are optimistic and think there will be a 50 basis point rate cut in 2 days. I have no idea what source gave him this information. I think this isn't true. If this happens again, upward explosion, a lot of people think the opposite, but there is now a 94% chance that the Fed will lower interest rates on Wednesday, following a federal decision in December. It might not be 25 right now. I mean, it could be 50 basis points. It looks like there will be a 25 basis point rate cut here, 87%. All right, the market thinks that the Federal Reserve will cut. The question is if it has already been taken into account in the price. Probably, guys, yeah. That's why I think we're excited. Well, not cryptos, but the stocks, right? There has been a lot of activity in stocks. Now, which means that people with inside knowledge are anticipating the rate cuts before they happen. So when this happens, okay, the markets will sell when they come to fruition because you usually buy the report. And then what do, guys? You make money off the news. So in today's movie, we're going to look into what I think will happen in the next few days. Charts alone can often predict the future. With any kind of swan, black or white, it doesn't matter. What do we have, everyone? The following day in 16 hours. A day of great importance. Okay, the market thinks the Fed will cut, and it looks like they will. Will we pump or dump, or will we stay stable and go sideways for all time? We'll look at this NASDAQ chart. What does the stock market have to do with this? Okay, because cryptocurrencies are a bit strange at the moment. All right, cryptocurrencies have really strange price movements. Just look at Bitcoin and an XRP here, correct? Basically moving sideways in the NASDAQ stock market. Decoupling right has been disconnected for 4 weeks now. Which stocks have been going up to their previous all-time high, right, if they aren't making new highs? Okay, so if we look at the RSI on the daily chart this Wednesday, we can figure out what is going to happen, everyone. This is basically a hint that I think a dump will happen, everyone. Finally, if it happens, it's better because the bandage will be ripped off instead of them just laying it for a few more months. It's better to do things right away instead of putting them off. And this is the best thing that could happen before we have a V-shaped rebound and get out of the dump. What do we see here in the NASDAQ's RSI? It made a V-shaped rate, but when you look at the RSI, it's what? It's bending. It's beginning to curve, isn't it? It isn't for sure. When we go below this yellow line on the RSI, it is proven. That's when a deep dump happens, isn't it? Take a look. Every time we have gone below this yellow line, the RSI right cross below it, look at all these dumps, right? Bigger dumps, shall we say, have occurred, right? And every time it has recovered because that's what Donald Trump wants, right? And cryptos haven't really been following. But the reason why cryptos haven't been following stocks is that when it's really time, cryptos are going to go straight up, right? Stocks won't do that. So here's the thing. It's just that the R side is beginning to turn down when we look at it now. All right, that's not good. We're at the point. Unless this goes up again, which I think won't happen. Maybe if a white swan event happens. But every time we've recovered, there has been a V-shaped comeback like this, and it has always led to another high. Always look at this. You all always made another high there. Whenever we have a V-shaped comeback, it happens every time. All right, I feel the same way. Is it going to reach a new high, or will the R size stop it from going any higher and then make it go lower instead? This week, I want to see the NASDAQ and the stocks go below this level for a liquidity grab, and I want the R size to go below the yellow moving average rate. That would mean there is going to be a bigger dump, which is what we just looked at. Wednesday, the day of the week between Tuesday and Thursday. I want all of this to happen, but our side can't be above this turn. So a positive divergence is probably going to make a new high, and cryptocurrencies are going to go crazy in the next few weeks. If we did go down to a new low, let's say 9% or 8%, that would be a big dump for cryptos because cryptos Bitcoin will likely double the amount that goes down by 20%. And XRP will probably triple the amount that goes down by 30%. Okay, and that's what we need for the dump to be finished, guys. Okay, so that's what I'm mostly keeping an eye out for this Wednesday, right? So they just finish it, guys. The market looks like something bad is on the way, doesn't it? Everything is coming together perfectly. Somehow, some way, stocks are really strong right now. But I think that's about to change. It's going to happen right away. We have big events this week, so why... September JOLTS report on job openings will come out tomorrow, December. The Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates Wednesday, the day of the week between Tuesday and Thursday. The Federal Reserve will talk on Wednesday, and on Thursday there will be data on new unemployment claims. All right, so I think this is the week when we'll see some kind of downside fireworks. Okay, let's see what happens, but I'll get ready just in case. I hope it happens so that things can start moving more quickly now. Nature's sin isn't what we want. Let's get ready. What is going on here? So if you want to see me, face me.